Some people live as if they can cover the eyes of the Lord, as if the one who made light can be blinded by darkness. This is the story of Pastor John, the holier-than-thou, the man who parades himself as a messenger of God. When he preaches, people tremble, they cry, they fall to their knees. You'd think heaven itself whispered his words. But behind that powerful voice was a man drowning in secrets, a man who preached fire but slept in ashes. Disclaimer: this content is solely for entertainment. It does not intend to spoil the image of a particular religion, but to enlighten people that those leaders in the church can also fall, and we should always pray for them to always keep to the faith. Welcome to the Forktale Haven, a place of correct African story. In the heart of Abuja, on the hill where the wind carries prayers and gossip alike, stood a mighty church. Salvation, miracle, and fire ministry. A place where hope found voice and sinners found redemption. Or so they thought. Pastor John had a way with words, silky, strong, persuasive. He could make a stone weep and make the proud bow. He grew the church from 50 souls to 300 in a single year. Every Sunday, the auditorium overflowed. Hands lifted, tears falling, hallelujahs piercing the Abuja sky. They called him the Man of Fire. Even the city's rich and mighty sat quietly when he spoke. But every light casts a shadow, and his was growing darker. Late at night, when the last prayer had been said and the lights of the city dimmed, Pastor John would sit by his window, a Bible on one side and a glass of whiskey on the other. His lips would whisper, "Lord, why bless me, yet leave me with this weakness?" He had built an altar for the world to see, but beneath it, he kept the sin he could not let go. It began like smoke, whispers in the pews, rumors carried by restless tongues. The miracles have stopped. The Spirit has departed. Something is wrong with our pastor. And truly, things began to fall apart. Members fought amongst themselves. Choirs split. Donations vanished. The fire that once burned bright in salvation, miracle, and fire ministry.
So the elders gathered, 7 of them, gray-haired and weary, men who had built this church brick by brick. They decided 7 days of dry fasting. No food, no water, no sleep, just prayer. They went up to the mountain outside Abuja and cried unto heaven. For 6 days nothing happened, only silence. But on the 7th night, the wind changed, the earth trembled, and a visitor arrived. It was Peter, a young worker from the church. His eyes were swollen, his voice cracked with fear. He fell to his knees before the elders. "Forgive me," he said, "but I can't hide anymore." The men watched, silent. Only the sound of crickets and breathing filled the air. And then he told them everything. About manipulation, about abuse of trust, about how the same hands that blessed had broken souls in secret. The elders listened in disbelief, their faith shaking like dry leaves. Elder Moses, the oldest among them, whispered, "So this is the darkness behind the light?" By morning, Abuja woke to the news. Pastor John suspended for immorality and misconduct. The headlines flooded radio stations, WhatsApp groups, and television screens. The mighty Man of Fire burned by his own flame. The once-filled church became an echoing tomb of silence. Members scattered, the pulpit abandoned, the Spirit gone. In his quiet apartment, Pastor John sat before his mirror, staring at the reflection of the man he used to be. He whispered, "I preached heaven, but forgot to find my own way there." Weeks later, he was seen walking along the streets of Garki, Bible still in hand, eyes sunken, voice soft. He no longer shouted fire. He only murmured, "Lord, forgive me." Because when the mask falls and the crowd disappears, all that remains is the truth you tried to bury. Some men preach holiness so loud that they drown the sound of their own guilt. But the eyes of the Lord are never covered. He sees the preacher and the sinner alike. He sees the altar and the secret beneath it. And when truth finally knocks, even the strongest walls of deceit crumble into dust. This was the story of Pastor John, the man who built a church of miracles, yet lost his own soul. Only the truth shall stand. Subscribe to Forktale Haven, because if you don't, you might not see us again.